Hello, everybody. It is Elsa932 on YouTube. We are here for Decision Day for mafs, and Peacock is playing in our face. I'm sorry, y'all. Peacock is playing in our face, or these people are playing in our face. But let's get to it, okay? They start off with Jaylen and Josh. We ended with Will and Britney, but we starting with Jaylen and Josh. So, yeah, they talk about how it's their first night they've had apart, but y'all, both of them say yes. I was kind of shocked Jaylen said yes, or I was kind of shocked Josh said yes. Either one, I thought one of them would have been a no, but I guess they're both a yes. So you know what? Let's keep it pushing. Pat and Rhonda, he said he doesn't know what he's going to do. Rhonda appreciates him for his commitment. This is before they even meet up at the couch. Pat does say on the couch he does not feel heard or seen in this relationship. He's been trying to be a good husband, but she keeps saying he's not caring. Rhonda says she her feelings were not being met. And I'm like, it's about you again, Rhonda. It's about you again, unless production has been making it only about you. But Pat say he ain't been seen or heard, so I'm figuring it ain't so much production. So we hear the experts tell Pat how he needs to focus on how the person wants to be seen and heard. And, when you do that, they'll stop saying you don't care. I said, where's that speech for Rhonda? Where's the speech for Rhonda? Because I'm just saying y'all tell Pat that Rhonda needs to be seen and heard, and y'all ain't even listening to what Pat got to say. I mean, really? Okay, experts, that's strike one. Pastor Cal says you need to focus on the good things, because if you focus on, what someone is not doing, then you will totally miss it all. So they list what they like about each other, what has been good for them these past 8 weeks. Pat said he was a no when he walked in. Now he's on the fence. And y'all, Pat's decision is to stay married. Okay, Pat, you're opening yourself up for rejection from Rhonda, but that's okay. She says she's open, but she is very, very scared. She is open yet scared. They both decide to stay married. So Rhonda says yes. I said, wait a minute. There must be a whole lot we have not seen. I'm shocked at this couple. I thought at least Rhonda would have been a no. Moving right along. Megan and Derek. They've had rough times, okay? He said he learned he needs to have more tact. She learned she needs to be less defensive and to breathe and have a more gentle approach. Pastor Cal said, okay, let's talk about kids. Have y'all had the kids discussion? And Megan's like, yeah, not many people know, but I'm pregnant. And they are shocked. The experts are shocked. So we see that production plays with the experts too. They don't show them everything. They wanted this moment of their shock and wonder. But they do congratulate them. And both Megan and Derek say it's a yes. Okay, happy little family. They came in where two became one. Marriage is where two become one. But in this case, with Megan and with Derek, two became three. Okay, right quick and in a hurry. Wish them all the best, okay? Belinda and Chad. He said he wants to see the world with her. Chad says yes, y'all. He's had some hiccups, but he thinks he's done way better than he, would have done, than he thought he would have done. But he needs to be able to relieve his stress in different ways. But he wants to stay married. Now, Chad comes in with flowers, he puts it on the table. But after he said he's a yes, he kneels down. He gives her the flowers, holds her hand, and, says, hey, will you decide to stay with me? Will you be a yes? Do you want to see the world with me? Now, I'm of two minds with this, okay? Belinda's hesitating. This man is on his knees in front of her. And I'm like, girl, why are you hesitating? You know that man's knees ain't that good? Why are you hesitating? You making him suffer. Just tell him no and go about his business. Then I'm looking at Chad while he's kneeling. Chad, is this a ploy to pressure her to say yes? Because this is a little too much fanfare. A little too much fanfare. So Belinda said, hey, as long as we keep working on this, then it's a yes. She wants to stay married. I was like, okay, mother and daughter say yes. Alrighty then. So let's go. Ding, 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 ding. The main event. Britney and Will. Will is there first. He tells the experts that he told Britney it's a no already, and they are shocked. He lays out all his issues in the relationship, how she does not validate his feelings, and tries to tell him how he needs to feel love, and how to express the love. Now, I understand the expression so she can receive it well, but she's not receiving his love very well. So Pastor Cal said maybe she wants you to fight for her. Okay, then she needs to say that. Okay? So Britney comes in. She said, her day has been shocked, it's been rattled. And she goes on that he brings her so much joy. And all I heard was, Anita Baker, you bring me joy. And I was like, where, Britney? We ain't seen much of the joy. And y'all, that's why I say production cuts things out. Because all we see is the suffering. And we do not see the wonder and delight that they are finding in each other. Because she goes on and on and on about how great he is. Okay? You saying so much now, Britney. I'm like, wait a minute, where was that, Will? Where were those moments? We didn't see those moments. And all I wanted to say is, Britney, stop begging. Britney, stop begging this man to stay with you. Britney, stop begging. She is crying, weeping in her long fingernails, begging this man to stay. And I was getting heated. I was getting, and then I was like, let me stop being mad at her. Stop being mad at him. And let me sit back. There has to be stuff we're not seeing for her to feel this emotional. But I was like, all I'm seeing is you crying and you think he don't like you 4 weeks ago. Y'all, but Will is crying too. But there's no tissue. There's no hug. There's no touch of her shoulder to say, I hear you. Do you need anything, honey? We don't see none of that. Will is sitting very still, very straight. He is crying and he's just looking at her while he crying and she crying. Okay, Britney, if that's what you want to sign up for, girl, have it. Then she apologizes for how she made him feel. Okay, I can understand you apologizing for not receiving and not validating his feelings, but okay. She said she did notice him opening up, and she did not express that to him very well. And she noticed it all, and she is just scared of this moment where he would say no. She goes on and on, y'all, while she is tearing up and crying. And Will is like, these things, he has never heard it before. She's never validated his feelings like this before. And she is asking, that they have more time. They could do this if they have more time because they care for each other. So Will says he needs more time. And his time is to walk outside and walk the gardens and talk to production while he makes a decision. He said he's glad to hear her validate his feelings. And, she will work on things. But she's had 2 months. And while they've been trying to work on things these past few weeks, it ain't been much difference, but there's been some movement. So Will comes in. He sits down. They ask Britney, of course, first, because she's like, yeah. I want him. I'm a yes. Will is like, yeah. Let me, I had a chance to think about it. And if we're going to work on things, it's a yes. I said no. No. Peacock, you playing with us. I think you had all these people say, I'm going to be a yes. Everybody got to be a yes, and then y'all could divorce by reunion. Just so that Peacock could have great ratings, better than the last, streaming service. But Will, I'm not going to say you performative. Yes, you could have taken some time to process things outside. But for you to call is putting pressure. And then for you to change your mind, yeah, I think it was a rash impulse call before, but I wish you didn't make that call. Okay? I wish you didn't make that call because now Britney is begging. And I wonder if you did that call to have her beg, have her fight for you when she wanted you to fight for her. Okay, y'all, I'm going to have to stop right here. I hope you will join me for my recap of the reunion and the live we about to have about this. Okay, have a good one. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.